Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to do a 54% gear reduction install on a Honda 300. This model is a 1990, which is a Gen 1, but they all are relatively the same. So let's get started. First off, we're going to remove the kickstart. All you do, loosen this bolt, pull it off, set it to the side. We'll be done with that at the end of the video. Next, let's go ahead and get the dipstick out of here. Make sure you get your little rubber O-ring out so you don't lose it. Then we're going to remove this oil passage line.
Now when you're taking this off,
now once you've removed the bolt, this passage line has copper washers, 2 of them, one on each side of it. Now it's going to be, you lift it up out of here and just kind of scoot it to the side. Alright, next we're going to get rid of our reverse cable and holding bracket. Next, we're going to work on getting the front cover off. Now, when you get to this point, you've got 3 wires going in down here. Go ahead and unplug all of them. Sometimes they can be kind of stubborn. Now, here in just a little bit, we're going to take this green wire, this green wire right here, we're going to cut it, we're going to ground it right here. So at this point, we're ready to go ahead and start removing the clutch cover bolts. They're all 8 millimeters. Alright, once you've got all your bolts loose, you're ready to start pulling them out.
at this point,
You're ready to start removing the clutch cover. But for these older bikes that have never really been taken apart, sometimes you got to give them a little tap. Now, at this point, one of the most important parts of the whole thing that will save you a bunch of time. This kickstart shaft is going to want to come out with the case. Take your rubber mallet, pop it back in. There's a washer in the back, and it will attempt to fall down into the gear case, which is not fun to try to get out. Well, on this one, we're gonna have to pull the kickstart assembly out as a whole. So be real careful not to drop that little washer off in the back. Now this is that little washer. Most of the time, you'll see it stick right here. And if it falls, it'll drop right down into your transmission, so be very careful right there. Also, you got another washer right here. Make sure you see that. There's also, all right, now we're ready to start removing these mechanisms and getting ready to pull the clutches. Just slides right off of here, followed by this, and pull this this out. When you pull it out, make sure you notice that there's a washer there. Sometimes it can stick on the back of the clutch cover, but most of the time it's going to stay right here. Now we're ready to remove the centrifugal clutch. Now be very careful here. These are reverse threads, so you're going to go right to loosen. A good way to tell is if you have a bolt right here, this will be normal threads. If it's just these two, it's going to be reversed. When you pull that nut off, make sure you pull the washer off with it. Now this washer here says outside. So when you go back in, make sure that blank side is to the clutch itself. Now Honda does make a clutch puller for these, but just a little mallet will do. Now we've got the centrifugal clutch off, and we're ready to start removing the drive clutch. And at this point, your gears should spin freely. Now take a good feel of this while you still have your factory gears in. You want the same feeling right here when you put your reduction in. Now, before we can take the drive clutch off, we're gonna have to remove this. Now we're ready to pull this one out. So you're gonna pop this little bearing out, which sometimes it won't come out, that's fine. Set it to the side and begin releasing your springs. Now just before you remove this last bolt, take you a screwdriver, put you a little scratch in this. Something you'll be able to see when it goes back together. And line it back up right here. So put you another scratch, same spot, right there. So now when you go back together, you can put it exactly where it come apart, which not that it's a big deal if you don't. It's just better, in my opinion, to put things together exactly like they come apart. On the centrifugal clutch, you got regular threads. Also, make sure you unstake this bolt. Flathead screwdriver, pick, anything like that, to just raise that little tab up. Same thing on this one. It's gonna have a little washer in there. And it's also gonna say outside. No tapping on this one needed to pull it out. You just slide it right out, but make sure you don't drop it. When you pull it out, there's a little collar that fits down in here. It is removable. Now when you want to get this primary gear out, you're gonna have to remove your oil pump first. But before we get there, we need to pull the oil transfer line. After this, we're gonna pop our oil pump loose. So when you pull off this primary gear, you're gonna have a little washer in here. Now, when you go to install your reduction, make sure you check with the builder. Some of them build it where you don't need to run this washer, and some of them request that you